Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Disability Rights Advocates, a look into the interface presentation done by me, Kevin Mendez, alongside other peers such as John Moreno and Martin Garcia. We'll be taking a look into the interface of the disabled rights advocates and seeing some of the glaring issues that might need to be fixed in order to improve accessibility and usability. The Disabled Rights Advocates website strongly represents the disabled community in their efforts to be heard. They provide resources in order to contact with them and share your stories regarding some disabled family members or yourself if you happen to be facing a disability. Their website works for the average person, but they sometimes may be facing issues regarding accessibility and usability, and we'll be going over those within this presentation. You can see that it has high contrast colors of oranges and yellow, and also many buttons that allow users to check into the disability rights advocates' history and also their social media to interact with them there or contact them there. There's also the option to look into the cases and investigations right in the middle, and there's also the latest DRA news regarding various updates that they've been performing as of recent. One of the primary issues present on the website's interface is the lack of language options, something essential for accessibility on any website and should be there in the first place. However, when looking into the website, as seen in the image below, an option would be there at the top where the black bar is next to the skip to content button, but there seems to be no option to change from English to Spanish to German to any other language across the globe. To improve accessibility, an option should be added right around there on the top, and we will look into the proposed solution on the next slide. For our first proposed solution, we suggest putting a drop-down menu in order to have access to other languages such as Spanish, French, German, Portuguese, and more, as it will help disabled users be able to interact with the website much better than before. By doing this, it'll be able to improve the accessibility and usability of the website itself, as it'll open up a bunch of options for other people around the world.
Hello everyone. As Kevin mentioned earlier, the problems we face with digital accessibility are not just about inconvenience. They're about inclusion, dignity, and the right to access information like everyone else. Today, I want to focus on two specific issues we found while analyzing the Disability Rights Advocates website. Issues that directly impact how comfortable and clearly we can engage with the site. The first issue is the problem of color contrast between text and background. For many of us, vision plays a huge role in how we interact with websites. If the text blends into the background or the colors clash too harshly, it becomes physically difficult, sometimes even impossible, to read the content. On this website, the color contrast between the text and the background is overly intense and saturated, which can lead to eye strain or even force users to leave the site altogether. This isn't a small issue though. It creates a digital environment that tells users with low vision sensory sensitivities or cognitive processing differences, this space wasn't designed for you. Our solution. We recommend reducing the saturation and contrast of the site's colors. This adjustment would create a softer, more accessible visual experience, making it easier for everyone to read, process, and navigate the content without stress or discomfort. Our third issue is the misleading of the Impact tab. Currently, the site includes an Impact tab, but clicking on it doesn't bring up stories of success, advocacy, or community change. Instead, it leads to a list of resources that don't truly reflect the organization's real world outcomes. This can be especially frustrating for users looking to understand the group's effectiveness or get involved. For people who rely on clear, directed navigation, especially those with cognitive disabilities or neurodivergence, this kind of mislabeling is a significant obstacle. Our solution. We suggest renaming and reorganizing the content. Separate tabs should exist for cases and investigations, and for resources, it should have its own dedicated space. This simple reorganization would make navigation much more intuitive, respectful of users' time and effort, and true to the site's mission.
As addressed in issue 4, that the website is missing a homepage introduction. Now, as you can see in the image right before you, as soon as you click on the website, you're thrusted into search our cases. There is no clear explanation what the website's for, what it advocates for, or what it's supposed to bring. That is all hidden in the About tab. This can be a big issue because as soon as people are trying to look for disability rights advocates or people in support of this disability rights, they might go through many websites, and if there isn't a clear paragraph to explain what they are for, it can lead to a lack of user interest or retention. Now, our proposed solution for this is to add an art purpose paragraph right as you enter the website. Not only would this show the user what they're about without having to go deeper, it would also make them interested to look more into it. That's why search our cases would go well under our purpose. So once they are interested, they can look at the cases that they've advocated for. Now, addressing the fifth issue of the website is that there's no auto detection for form errors. Now, when you scroll to the bottom of the website, there's going to be an option for you to enroll in their newsletter. This is so you can get any updates on the website or any updates on their cases. Now, when we tried putting in random information, as you can see here, first name Kevin, last name Mendez, company information blank, email blank at blank dot blank. As you can see on the image on the right, it went through. Now, this is a huge issue because if any user were to try to put their information but were to input it incorrectly by a little dot, one word wrong, one extra letter, or number, they wouldn't be able to get the newsletter. Although for them, they think they would because there is no error detection for it. Now, our solution for it is quite simple. Have a error checking functionality onto the newsletter. That means if the email would be invalid or not registered as an actual email, it would give them a message saying that the email is invalid. This would prompt the user to look through their inputs and check, oh wait, this email is incorrect. Let me put my actual email. And so it has a higher chance of them putting their actual email in and not just some random email or a mistyped one, so that they can get the actual newsletter instead of them not getting any updates whatsoever from the website. Now, in conclusion, although we have gone through many problems that the website brings up, there are still many that have not been mentioned here. For a full breakdown on the issues and our recommendations, please look to our research paper for the full picture. Thank you all for your time and have a lovely day.